Hello and welcome back to A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 38. Today's lesson is There is nothing my holiness cannot do. And there is nothing our holiness cannot do because our holiness is the holiness of God, and therefore everything is holiness. The purpose of today's exercise is to begin to instill in you a sense that you have dominion over all things because of what you are. So for this, as now seems to be typical in the lessons, we are to do short practice periods throughout the day, which is simply saying, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. But for the specific practice periods, we are to do 4 periods of 5 minutes, where we close our eyes and think about anything that causes sadness or unhappiness or loss. And for these, it doesn't matter if it is a specific thing for you or if it is for someone else. We don't want to make any distinctions about what it is that we bring up in these periods, but we want to be as specific as possible when we name them. So when we name them, we'll say, in this situation involving blank. So you could put in probably the feeling, you can say, of depression. Well, you'd probably want to put the feeling as well as what the actual situation is. So for example, if you know someone who's had someone pass away, you say, in this situation involving the sorrow of losing a loved one, or you can say the specific person in which, and then name the person who has lost someone, sees themselves, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. And if it's for yourself, say you lost your job, you could say, in the situation involving the loss of my job, in which I see myself, there's nothing that my holiness cannot do. So you use that structure to place holiness onto these situations that are causing unhappiness for you. And throughout these periods, you can also then throw out your own thoughts on the statement of there's nothing my holiness cannot do, but we want to remain focused in on that, about the holiness having an effect. So an example of a thought that you might throw out in these periods is, there's nothing my holiness cannot do because the power of God lies in it. And then when we're doing our shorter periods, as we have done, because we're focusing on feelings of unhappiness, if any situation comes up during your day that causes unhappiness for you or others, then just apply the statement as it comes up in your life. So if you're in the hallway and you see your neighbor can't get into their house because they lost their key, you could say, in this situation involving losing a key, in which my neighbor sees himself, there is holiness. There's nothing my holiness cannot do.